Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Lost. This is the finale of the 4th season. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. Speak about links in the description. We have been running our most liked to dislike characters of season 4, and now it's time to reveal your results as well as doing mine. Cannot wait to see who everybody has chosen. A couple new characters been introduced this season. It's been really exciting, this storyline. 4 seasons in, and we've not been disappointed yet. You know, we've got part 1, part 2, part 3 coming in for the ending episodes as well, which always seem to smash it. So I'm excited to see obviously what today's episode brings, and you know, let's hope that we don't have some more sad deaths, you know, as we did in season 3, mate, because I'm absolutely wounded that Charlie wasn't in it, and he was such a great character, and the way he bowed out was obviously very sad. But we still got the finale of today's, and high action hopefully, and lots of entertaining stuff to still come into play. But right now we're going to do the votes. But if you're not interested, just use the timestamps below. You can skip to the video. But if you are and you voted, please stick around because we're going to do them now. Now, if I'm being totally honest, I'm going to go through this and I'm just going to say, like, you know, even though we've had a couple of characters introduced, you know, we've had, you've had Miles. I wasn't too sure about him when he first come, but I actually don't think he's that bad now. As well as Daniel, you know, it's 50-50. I feel like he's kind of like a bit of a Charlie replacement, but then obviously as we've progressed, these characters change and he's totally different to Charlie. I just feel like, I don't know, he's just the way he was and just the way he played it off. And as well, Charlotte, I feel like Charlotte's a bit moody, to be honest. I feel like if Kimi, which I'm going to just obviously just say now he's my most disliked, but if Kimi hadn't done what he'd done, I think I might have been settling on Charlotte, to be honest, as my disliked character this season. It's not that like I really dislike her. I don't know. It's just something about her character. It's always moody, and I think Daniel's even mentioned it a few times to her as well. Like, look, mate, the reason why people don't trust us and the reason why they're like not engaging and welcoming in to their group is like, we're hostile, do you know what I mean? Like, we always have our backup and we like withhold information. And I feel like even him, Daniel and Miles, they all know stuff and they just don't reveal it. They just keep it to themselves, like, why they're here. You know what I mean? When they've been asking, are you going to take us off the island? Just say yeah or no. Or just say, look, we come here. We never intended to take you off the island, but we found you and now you are our secondary choice. You know what I mean? We come here to do what we got to do. And then when we leave, we'll take you with you. Or we'll do our best, you know what I mean? Like, just be open and honest. And that's why they were stressing me out, but I've got to pick Kimi just for the actions that he's done. It made me want to be on Team Ben, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's made me want to be on Team Ben. I really do enjoy him now. What a great character. But Kimi's mine. I'm interested to see yours. Okay, so here we are on our most disliked characters of season 4. Second outfit change of the episode. Third will be coming shortly. But Kimi is number 1. He's got 19 votes with 32.2% of it. With Charlotte coming in second place with 80.64, and Kate coming in with 9 votes in third place. Now, real interesting stuff is that when we've done it on the Patreon, they voted for Kimi, Kate, and Charlotte. So, do you know what I mean? The top 3 has stayed pretty consistent with the people over onto the YouTube. And do you know what? It's a mix of characters in there. Even Sun's got 1, and Locker's got 1, and Desmond. So, you know, it's had a pretty impactful season, hasn't it? On a couple of people, because usually we only have a small select few that have really had a couple of votes, but here there's a good wide variety of it. I really do love to see it, but I'm not surprised about the top 3. Can a little bit surprised about Kate. I was saying that she's had a pretty good acting season. I've never been really Kate's biggest fan, champion of her actual character itself. Interested to see what we do with her. But yeah, 2 of the new characters that have been introduced is Kimi and Charlotte. They took 1 and 2. Daniel's a new character, he's got 3, and so's Miles has got 3 as well. So people not really loving the new ones. But I'm interested to see who you are loving when we do our most liked characters. So here we are on our most liked characters of season 4. Now I'm going to pick someone that I never thought I would ever pick. Honestly, I really didn't. And they've progressed, in my opinion, in terms of entertainment. And I feel like ever since they was introduced, they've always been entertainment, but they've always been a mystery around them. You know, they're full of lies, they're full of truths, they're full of speculation. Do you know what I mean? It's always chaos and action, and if you've been watching it by now, you probably know who I'm talking about. Somebody is rising to the top. Do you know what I mean? It's like the bubbles. You pour it into the can and it's at the bottom of the glass, but the bubbles keep rising, and soon they're right at the top, aren't they? They're at their peak, and I think Ben is the best character of this season. And I don't know if it is far-fetched to say that Ben is possibly the best character in the whole franchise. Now, when we do the most liked characters, top 3 for the show, when we get into season 6, that is where we will find out. But I actually do feel like in the first few seasons, it was heavily Jack, it's heavily Kate, and they was pushed as the main focal point. And I feel like ever since that Ben has been introduced, he's been little bits here, little bits there, his story here, he's leading, he's going, he's dominating, he's manipulating, he's smashing it, and I do enjoy Ben. You know, if I click on this now and he's actually not in the top 3, I will be surprised, because I feel like this is the season where he has rose to the top. So I cannot wait to see you guys have chosen. Because here we are on our most liked characters of season 4, and Ben has absolutely smashed this one. You know, getting the credit that he deserves. Very interesting character. Got my most liked as well, which is really interesting. Never thought I would actually ever give it to him. So he's come in second place after, you know, taking the top spot a couple of seasons in a row. Desmond and Jin tied with third, which is really interesting. You know, if you're interested in obviously what the Patreon done, they done it as Ben, Sawyer, and you know, actually Daniel was in second place with Desmond slightly in fourth, but obviously now it's changed. Now everybody else has taken part, and again, you know, really interesting, like quite a bit of mix of people here, you know, taking part. Locke's got 1 vote, so he had 1 dislike as well. You know, I'm liking that Jin's getting a bit of love. I do like him. I'm interested to see what we do with his character. You know what I mean? It's been a crazy whirlwind of a season. He wants to get his baby off the island, isn't it? You know, I've actually enjoyed the jump back and forth and all that stuff. You know, it's give it a real good different feel to the to the other seasons that we've you know, been experiencing. And you know, I really do think Ben has been absolutely amazing ever since he's come into the show, and I don't think it's too crazy to say he's potentially being the best character maybe that the show's got. Can't wait to obviously when we run the final characters for the top 3 most liked in the final season, and you can choose, you know, for everybody that's been in the show, how Ben actually ranks in that, because it's going to be really exciting and interesting to see. That's where we currently are. Very, very interested to see today's finale. Hopefully you guys are too. So just like to say thanks again for obviously taking part in this, you know, taking part in the votes. You guys are amazing, and I can't wait to see obviously what today's finale has in store.
I'm sorry to bother you, but do you have the time, please?
Santa Rosa Mental Institute, so he's coming to find Hurley.
I think visiting hours are over, dude.
I want you to come with me.
I haven't seen you in like forever.
Bentham's dead.
What?
2 days ago.
His name?
Don't say it.
Like Voldemort?
We're being watched. We just killed a man who's been perched outside this facility for the last week.
That's well interesting, that, isn't it, mate? Somebody's scoping him out.
Back, are we?
Just somewhere safe.
Checkmate, Mr. Echo.
Mr. Echo?
Where's the freighter? I don't know. I stayed on course. They must have it on the move again. There it is, the boat. I see it. Behind us.
It's still far away, that though, isn't it? Really?
Man, help me. If he dies, everybody on that boat dies.
Wherever you go, Whitmore, he'll find you.
Not if I find him first.
Yeah, he found him first in the present. Well, he woke up and he was in his bedroom, wasn't he?
You two need to go now. Get everybody off the boat. We have maybe 5 minutes left in the tank.
They're gonna think he's waving like, yay!
Go, man! Get away, there's a bomb! Did he say bomb? I don't care what the hell he's screaming! I'm fine on fumes, I gotta put this bird down!
It's either just put it down there and dive off and get back in the water, or just land the helicopter in the water and then start sinking and try and get out. So probably is best doing that, but literally chaotic, innit? They've left one island of chaos to get onto a freighter thinking they're safe, to just be in another bit of chaos where it's going to blow up and they're going to be back in the sea.
No, you don't understand! Jill and Michael are doing everything they can, but there's no time! How long till we can fly again? Somebody patch the other hole where the bullet came out! Give it to me, I'll do it!
You get the baby on the chopper, I'll get Jin, all right?
Just keep pumping till I get it started. That'll be enough to get us to the island.
You are a father now. Get to your wife and get her home.
I kind of want the boat to blow up, but with Jin not knowing if he's alive, do you know what I mean? But he does survive. But they're the survivors then.
Give me a minute! No! Wait!
Where's Jin? He needs to go back!
Oh, look at Michael hearing voices again.
You can go now, Michael.
Don't know what's happening with him, man. I actually don't know what's happening with him. I'll tell you what, mate, she's selling it. You know what? I'm going to give you a clap. Good sell. You made it believable. She thinks that Jin's actually dead from my perspective now, from looking at her, how she's reacting there, and obviously the chaos that's just erupted. Michael possibly could die. He was, I mean, we don't know the time frame between seeing Jack's dad there, innit, mate, and him possibly running away. I don't. He was close to that C4. He probably would have died if it blew up, if it was around him. Jin, chance of surviving. He was on a deck. He could have got launched off from the impact into the water. Who knows? I'm hoping he's alive anyway. Do you know what I mean? How sad would it be? She's had the kids, she's got off the island, and then, you know, all this, is it my kid, is it not? You know what I mean? Cheated on you, I'm sorry, you know, I forgive you, I'm a better man, and like, he doesn't get to see it. Oh, be wounding, wouldn't it? So I hope that he is alive.
런던에 있어요. 일 마무리하고 오늘 밤에 출발해요. I'm Sun Guan, Mr. Beck's daughter. I'm the managing director of Beck Industries. Are you really going to pretend that you don't know who I am?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Kwan.
You and I have common interests. When you're ready to discuss them, we're not the only ones who left the island.
Why would you want to help me?
Mate, Sun's doing really good this episode so far. It looks like all of them there are the ones that have been found. Well, apart from Desmond.
Sometimes good command decisions get compromised by bad emotional responses.
Maybe he has to put the metal inside of there to shift the island. You know what I mean? When it does its thing.
I better change.
What are you doing here?
Decided to take a dip. What you celebrating?
I'm not celebrating.
I mean, he has no idea what's going on there. Do you know what I mean? He's just sat back looking now. Maybe they can see the helicopter.
You're wise.
What's that for? I'm going somewhere cold.
Then where is mine?
You don't need one because you're not going with me. Whoever moves the island can never come back. So I'd like you to get on the elevator, John, and go back up. Richard and my people will be waiting 2 miles east of the Orchid, ready, willing, and able to share what they know, and then they will follow your every word. Sorry I made your life so miserable. What do I tell them to do? You'll find your way, John.
Oh, alright, I'm a little low-key sad for Ben, if I'm being honest, and I'm kind of sad for myself that it could potentially be the last bits that we see of Ben as kind of like, because I would class him as a main character this season, and maybe last as well. He's in it quite a lot. I think he's really, really good, if I'm being totally honest, and like, I do not want this to be the end of him. He's a great character, and you know what I mean? You can tell how he loves the island. He hardcore loves it. And you can see in his face how devastated he was when he was saying there that the person who moves it loses it, technically.
Welcome home.
Richard, mate, was scouting him as a kid, wasn't he? Oh, look how cold it is down there. He wasn't even lying, was he? Cool. Oh. Would you be able to even move something that cold? Could Ben not have got somebody like Jack to do it who doesn't want to come back to the island? These guys know what's happening, don't they? These don't.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, look at him. He's wounded. He's absolutely devastated. Reckon they're gonna look back to the island and it's gone.
Where's the island? Where's the island?
How would you even contemplate that in your head? Like, you're just driving towards it and a big bright light and it's gone.
The island doesn't matter now. That's it, people. We're out of fuel. Get your life vests on. We're going in.
That was smart from Saeed. Mate, that baby's well lucky to survive Aaron. Desmond better, I'd still be breathing.
Come on, Desmond.
He's done it twice now, Jack. And these are the ones that just drift off then and end up making it to the island. Well, to the other island. See, the interesting thing is that bright big white light reminded me of the big bright light that Desmond done. Do you remember when he put the key in and turned the radiation, and obviously we had the thing coming out of the hatch and the sky changing colours? Like, was that it for that? Are we done with that bit now? Like, did it really have no impact? Because the sky changed colours, didn't it? Did it go bright and then purple or violet or something? Like, was that just so that we could say Desmond was hit with high radiation, so then we can kind of make sense of the jump forwards and jump backs that he was kind of having in his, you know what I mean? Because he referenced that he was, you know, I think Daniel asked, has he been involved around high radiation before? Another thing as well, in terms of them, is are we going to use any of this Daniel having Desmond as his constant? Is that going to be a thing, or was that just, you know, just in the book, just to say like, yeah, they've kind of met each other before and the episode wasn't a bunch of BS? Does that make sense as well? Like, there's a couple of things, you know, like I was saying last episode, you know, with Walt and his powers and stuff, you know, are we not going to use that again? The polar bears, I'm guessing we're just assuming that it was what you know, that cold bit that we just seen then. Got to still see more about this Jacob, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't really had him revealed much. Jack's dad, why is he coming to and from? Like, is he there? Is he not? Why can people actually see them? You know, Locke's had a conversation with him. Jack in his, I can't remember if it's flash forward now, I think it was still seeing him. You know, he's turned up there, spoken to Michael as well. You know what I mean? Is Claire okay? She's not really bothered that the baby was taken, you know what I mean, at the time, when she ended up going with them. So there's still quite a lot of bit there that we still need to obviously go through before we even get to the surviving parts, you know, like who's died, you know, who this new guy is that's being introduced, you know, about last episode when he was name dropped 2 times. It's very interesting. There's still loads and loads and loads of stuff.
Hello, who's there?
You're well shitting it, not gonna lie.
Don't move. I can't bring him back, Kate. Don't you dare bring him back.
I mean, I understand that Jack wants to go back, but I'd never actually considered taking the baby back.
He moved the island.
No, he didn't.
Oh, really? Because one minute it was there and the next it was gone, so unless we, like, overlooked the dude, that's exactly what he did.
The thing is, that was actually Locke's intention as well, though. Like, they was there to do that.
Hey! There's a boat, you see it? Hey!
They've had this before where the others have turned up. It'd be hilarious if it was them.
We're gonna have to lie.
Lie about what?
Everything, all of it. Those men came to the island to kill us, all of us. You said that our plane was discovered on the bottom of the ocean. Well, someone put it there. Someone who wants everyone to think that we're dead. So what do you think's gonna happen to us when we tell them that that wasn't our plane? Just let me do the talking.
Hey, it's hard to keep up a lie, especially keep 6 people going doing it as well.
He's Whitmore!
I was gonna say, I just heard Whitmore.
Throw them a rope. Take them round to the stand.
Penny?
Right, Desmond, technically he wasn't on the plane, was he? You forget about that. He's not an Oceanic 6 survivor.
Okay. How did you find me?
Your phone call. I have a tracking station.
Man, I'm just happy that this little bit got tied up with Penny and Desmond, if I'm being honest. Maybe he just disappears and pretends he wasn't there at all.
It's nice to meet you, Penny.
Hi.
But we need to talk.
Mate, he's lucky that he's somebody that's kind of like in the common circle. Well, not in the circle, but technically, do you know what I mean? It's like a family member, like who can actually sit down and you can plan it. If it was a bunch of randos that found you, do you know what I mean? You got to be fast on your feet, you can just lie like this. Here, they can sit down, they can say, Frank, he was never on the island. You know what I mean? I mean, it's wounded for him, technically, because he's probably not going to get... Well, he wouldn't get a payout anyway, would he, to be honest? You know, only the survivors would, because they was involved in the crash of the company that actually crashed the Oceanic. But I feel like Frank and Desmond, they're just going to hush up and just move on. You know what I mean? We was never there, you know what I mean? And then the rest, they're going to have to go on. Like, did they say that they found the boat or something and then they drifted up somewhere else? Because they're not found here, do you know what I mean? They move off into an island and pretend that they was rescued there like that, do you know what I'm saying? So, like, they think well, put a plan in place and try and make it more believable. And like I said, they're lucky that they found somebody that they actually know, technically, that would give them the time to put this plan in action. Because technically, they got away with it as well. It's solid to lie, even more harder when multiple people are involved. You know what I mean? That's why they keep checking up on Hurley to make sure he's all right and don't keep saying anything in the present. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Week later.
Why are we doing this, dude? Sailing 3,000 miles to another island?
Because it's the only way to keep them safe.
It's been a pleasure, Frank. Hope we never see each other again.
You'd have to change all the clothes, I would anyway.
You sure about this, brother?
Are you sure?
As long as I've got Penny, I'll be fine.
Let's go home.
Is it that far-fetched to leave Aaron with them and then pick him up later after you've been through all the chaos with no questions asked? I thought he walked over in the daytime though, didn't he, when he went last time? Do you reckon he's returned? He was there in the day and now he's come back at the night. Oh, it's right. Why didn't I put that together, Jeremy? B for me.
Hello, Jack.
Bloody hell. Ben's there.
Did he tell you that I was off the island?
Yes, he did.
When did you speak to him?
About a month ago. He told me that after I left the island, some very bad things happened.
I'm here to tell you that the island won't let you come alone. All of you have to go back.
And Kate, she won't even talk to me anymore.
Perhaps I can help you with that. This is the way it has to be, Jack. Do it together, all of you. I have a few ideas. I said all of you. We're gonna have to bring him too.
Who is it? I need to look at his face. It's fucking John Locke. What's going on there? Now that is a twist. That is an actual twist, mate. So, that is a twist. I didn't expect to see Locke's head just absolutely chilling there, mate. You know, as he got off the island, literally, is that even him? Jeremy. Is John short for Jeremy? I don't know. I've never heard that. I've heard, like, you know, other names called like Richard and Bob are short for other names, like, but never John for Jeremy. That was really interesting, to be honest. No wonder no one went to his funeral there. You know, all of them that technically survived the island at the end of it kind of despise Locke and everything that he's done for. You know what I mean? But if he's dead, who's running it? Who's there? Who's in charge? And next season 5 is going to be an interesting one because, you know, we spent 4 seasons trying to get off the island, and now we're going to spend the 5th season trying to get to the island. You know what I mean? It's going to be really interesting to see it, like, flipped upside down. And it makes sense to me anyway that Frank and Desmond pretended that they weren't even part of it at all. You know what I mean? Like, they just disappeared on Penny's boat. You know, she's got loads of money. Desmond's sound. He doesn't need the attention, doesn't need the money, doesn't need the press. You know what I mean? He could drift away and pretend that nothing happened and live his own life and chill with somebody who's rich. An interesting thing is, you know, he said, Ben, that he was going to go and kill Penny. Now, is he going to follow, you know what I mean? Is he going to follow through with that? I don't really know. He had the chance to kill Whitmore, but he didn't. You know, Son's met him in real life, said that she's got a proposition towards him, but then she's got to go to the island. Do you know what I mean? If this is the case, she's got to return, and then what's going to happen with her kid? You know what I mean? Like, she's just gave birth, and now she won't want to leave him. Or her. I can't remember now. It was a girl, wasn't it? And the fact is, you know what I mean? Like, that means that Aaron, I'm assuming, has to go back as well then. So if we go for the Oceanic 6, you know, Locke's part of it now, or Jeremy, whatever. So you got Locke and Jeremy, Jack, Kate, Saeed, Son, and Hurley. They're the 6 people that survived. They are the ones. Now, we never technically got the other 2 survivors, if that makes sense, who never made it, and we never really got the explanation of how they died. We've had the whole BS of how they've landed, survived, drifted to shore, do you know what I mean, and lived, but we haven't really got how the other 2 have passed away. Big twist, to be honest, that he was Locke, that was in the box. Makes sense that nobody was there. Jack is obviously still going up and down, it's in turmoil, really. And, you know, I feel like the last 3 episodes have been very interesting and very exciting. And you can see the pain, the devastation that hit Ben when he was saying that the person who moves the island loses the island. And technically, he said that he won't be able to return to it. So, like, if he sends them back, he probably got a plan himself, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it, like, passes on. So, like, if I move the island, then I can't go back. But if you're on there and you move the island, it cancels me. And then I can go back because I wasn't the last one to do it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's the last one to do something. But there's still loads of stuff going on. Literally loads, mate. Claire's had a conversation with, obviously, what is it now? Kate in her dreams as well, saying, don't bring him back. Don't do it. How's Jack going to convince him? Mate, it's going to take some heavily convincing, mate. Next season, I can't wait. Okay, that is going to wrap up the season finale of the 4th season of Lost. Thanks so much to everybody who has watched today's episode. Thank you so much for everybody that's taken part in the most liked and disliked characters of the season. Have your characters who you chosen ever actually won one of the votes? You know what I mean? Mine's up and down, literally. You know, I think last season I picked Sawyer and he didn't actually win. You know what I mean? I think I picked Sawyer before and he's actually won. I think I might have picked Jack as well. Season 1, he won as well. So, you know, I've not been too bad in my ones, but what about you? You know, I know some people are hit way off the mark. Ben's a really good and interesting character, and obviously, you know, he can't make it back to the island, like he said in today's episode, but I'm hoping that he's heavily involved in the next season because, you know, he is really good. Now, again, good little twist at the end there that Jeremy is actually John Locke. Never expected that. I want to know how he's actually made it to the mainland. You know, it's going to be really interesting. Does that mean that he's not on the island and he's just completely dead? That'd be a good twist, wouldn't it? Another thing that's interesting is obviously the freighter blew up. It looked like Michael could potentially be dead. He was very close to the C4, you know, when obviously it was potentially about to erupt. Now, Jim was on the top deck. There's a good chance that he could have been thrown, knocked unconscious, whatever, made it into the water. I understand that they was in the helicopter, they was really high up, so that when they was looking down on the rubble, you know what I mean, they couldn't really see him, but that doesn't really necessarily mean that he's dead. I reckon that you would be struggled to actually see any survivors anyway in that scenario. You know, you got the boat sinking, you got the debris, you got the flames, you know what I mean, you got the smoke. It's going to be hard to actually see everything that's going on, but we haven't seen anything from any of their perspective. I would love to get an episode next season of the aftermath of that. Do you know what I mean? Of the explosion and see how everybody survived. We did see Sawyer go back to the beach, you know what I mean? We've seen him actually make it back. He swam there. Juliet was sat there. She was drinking some rum, wasn't she? You know, Sawyer's come, he's looked on the beach, he's looked around, seen the boat on fire. Nobody's really seen that helicopter go off, so they have no idea that people have survived. You know what I mean? Like, technically as well, yeah, this is an interesting question to pose to you. Like, you know, if you were Sawyer and Juliet and everybody else on the island, you know, Bernard, Rose, you know, all the others that have been there since day one and trying to survive the same as all of these and get away, Claire for example as well, if you found out that Jack and Hurley and Kate and everybody had been off successfully, you know, living normal lives on the mainland, rich as well, famous and getting on with their life, and never actually attempted ever to tell the truth that you actually crash landed and you're out there, and made no efforts to come and actually retrieve you, would you be fuming? Do you know what I mean? So, like, when all of this happens, like, if they return to the island next season and they found out that they've actually been away for 3 years, I think that's what they said anyway. I think they were saying that they've been there for 3 years. Would you take them back with open arms? Because I don't think I would, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? I actually do not think I would. Like, if I was on the island and I was there from day one and I was trying to get off as the same as all of them, and I was unlucky enough to not make it onto the boat, you know what I mean, to actually get rescued, but I figured out that they did go there and he never once tried to come back and get me, then I would be absolutely livid. I understand that the island's been moved and it's pretty much going to be impossible to find it. You know what I mean? Like, even if they had the coordinates of the first time of them landing, they're not going to be there the second time they go there. We've seen it. You know, he's moved the island, it lit up, you know, bright light, boom, it literally sunk or disappeared right in, you know, like literally right in front of our eyes. You know, Jack was refusing to believe that that's what actually happened. Hurley was like, dude, it just literally did. We was there staring at it. Then it just disappeared. We know as well that that was the intention that Locke and obviously Ben was trying to do, so it just makes all total sense. Even though it makes no sense that the island can move, it makes total sense in the scenario and the situation that we've been following. Now, again, like I said, mate, it's going to be interesting to see it, because if it's 3 years into the future, then there's relationships that could be established. We could go into season 5 and it could be Sawyer and Juliet in a relationship. 3 years on a deserted island, you know, they was there for 100 days. You know what I mean? 100 plus. And look at the relationships that was built there. You know what I mean? Jack and Juliet got close. Jack and Kate literally got close, fell in love. Sawyer fell in love with Kate as well. You know what I mean? Like, Claire got with Charlie. Emotions run high in a confined space with each other 24/7. You know, one day feels like 1 week probably, and you know, 100 plus days, and you've seen it now. 3 years, it's going to be crazy. And like I said, mate, you could end up going to this island. Sawyer and everybody else could have kids there. Actually, to be honest, I don't think they could, because they were saying babies conceived on the island, nobody actually gives birth. Babies that was actually come to the island off a pregnant person like Claire, that survived. You know what I mean? So that was really interesting. We're still not seeing what happened with all the kids that was taken at the very start of the show as well. You know, I keep mentioning things here and there about little things that like pop into my mind, like I was saying about the polar bear, about Walt's powers, you know, about you know, what's some of the stuff? The Desmond turning the thing, the island missing, you know, Whitmore coming, you know, the Dharma project. Do people even know that's actually happening? You know, there's just little things here and there that I just keep mentioning because I would like the answers to, like, do you know what I mean? Like Jack's dad, you know, is he there? Is he not? What's going on with Jacob? The kids that was taken so earlier on. Do you know what I mean? Like, where are they living? Are they part of like Richard's group? Why are they so chill as well? Like, none of them literally who was taken seems to have any care in the world to actually want to get off the island. Their hostess is prime example. She proper stresses me out. She annoys me. You know what I mean? Again, you know what I mean? They was building a runway. We're going to even go into that. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing. They was on a separate island doing like manual labour. What was that for? What was the intention? We had somebody come and he was doing like a judge and jury thing, and he was going to sentence Juliet to death. You know, where is she? She doesn't look like she's part of Richard's camp. There's still loads of things, like these little minuscule things, but like I think that the little things add up to a lot of things, and it's like you can't drop in mini storylines just like Dharma Project writing all these diaries, put it in the tube, and it just froze up, and it's like it's a tree, and it's just left there on top of the island. What's the point in that? Do you know what I mean? Like, what was the point in that? Like, are we going to get anything off that? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like I was saying about Daniel's constant being Desmond, is that going to go anywhere, or is it just... was it just for the sake of one episode? Just little things like that, you know what I mean? I hope they all get tied up. Because I was asking about, obviously, Penelope. I was saying she was introduced at the end of like season 2. I thought she was going to have a big part of season 3. She wasn't really in it. Then Charlie died. Then she was on the thing. I was wondering what's going on. Her dad's trying to find the island. It's good that she's found them today. And it makes total sense that obviously Frank and obviously Desmond have been tucked away that way. You know what I mean? Silent, hush, hush, while these guys have gone this way. And obviously ended up being on the island. Been a really good season. I've actually really enjoyed it. It's exciting because obviously looking at your guys' votes on the best season so far from the like 40-50 people that have actually taken part already, you know, seasons 4, 5 and 6 were the 3 winning ones coming into this season, which is really interesting because obviously season 1, 2 and 3 been amazing so far, and I reckon this has been another good one, and it just excites me for the next 2. So thank you so much for checking out this season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.